Astrology time, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com. And today is Friday, and the moon is in Sagittarius all day long. It's 21st of August. So hi, everybody. Sagittarius all day long. We talked about that yesterday, optimistic and searching. Today's a great day for an expanded offering. It's like if we were Inspector Gadget and we had Go-Go Gadget Arms. It's like here, right? Go-Go Gadget Arms. Saturn and Venus are opposing each other at 8:43 in the morning. And this is a perfection, right? So they've been opposing each other for a while. And it's kind of an interesting dynamic of what's going on there. The effect that it's going to have, though, is this reaching out that we're going to be doing and how we're doing it and how we're attracting things to us. There's a lot of attraction in today's horoscope as well. Today's horoscope, astrology. Let's call it astrology, right? Horoscope is actually a time of your birth, right? Because it's Scorpius looking at the hour of your birth. So we don't really want to confuse that. However, let's talk about what this actually means, because it's going to be technical in nature and it should leverage the latest tools. That's because we have Mars, and that's because we have that T-square that we talked about yesterday involving Mars that was pointing towards Aquarius, right? Towards the North Node point, Aquarius. So that's why it's very technical. Now, this isn't meant just for creators of content either. This is meant for anyone who needs to try and augment their business offerings, whether we're putting it out there, what we're doing. It's the end of the Leo season. And if we put ourselves out there right now, this is going to pay off, right? Now, after some point tomorrow, Leo's going to be in that anaretic degree, so it's going to have the negative things that are going to be slightly amplified. But right now, we're amplifying the positive. We're thinking positive thoughts, and we're doing this right away. Now, what we're talking about is when will this pay off? Well, 6 months or so, right? When that sun is in that Aquarius position. Now, these aspects are good for either fun or profit. Think about that. You will need to cut through the brain fog, though. There's a little bit of brain fog there. Why? Why is there brain fog? We'll get into that. And we're going to act in ways that are going to put you in a better place of alignment with the approaching Virgo season. And today's keyword is awkward, because that brain fog is a little awkward. It's kind of like those actions that we're trying to take, maybe somewhat self-defeating, or it feels like we're kind of like spinning our wheels. And we're going to get into that as well, because that has something to do with Venus. Now, the color is heather blue. Leo season is closing out, but not before we make one final push for the ultimate Leo brass ring, that mythical thing, right? Okay, so think about this and pay attention, because an origin story is a performative piece of art. Have you ever tried to start a business from the ground up? Before you have any customers or anything, you must come up with a reason for the existence of your enterprise. And this is your origin story. The more times you tell it, the more it feels like you're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy, because that is exactly what you're doing. I intend to do this. Well, if you intend to do this and you tell it to enough people, next thing you know, you're going to start doing that. And so, look, yesterday, I told you that we were going to have a flash and we needed to do something. So I got the idea that maybe try floating a midday post like, hey, I said today was a 5. How do you think it's going? Well, I thought of this late in the afternoon. So, what I did was I just made some goofy pictures of myself and put them up there as one of those tile things, and called it the phases of my face. I'm a Virgo ascendant, can you tell? Just take a look at it, and you can tell me what you think about that, okay? Because it's supposed to show in your face for some reason. Okay, so, look, so I did that, right? And I wanted to see what effect it would have, not just, for the fun of it, but it was also, it's goofy, it's awkward, but it's also, I'm curious to see what it does to the post during the day, if it augments them or if it takes away from them. Because what happens right now is that the short one tends to get a lot of views, and the long one doesn't really get that much love. And that's why I push it on the podcast and stuff like that, because, 10 minutes, 12 minutes, it's an awfully long time to pay attention to TikTok, especially when it's supposed to be, just next. I appreciate the people who do watch it and the people who do comment on it, but you can also pick that up as a podcast, right? And it's the video podcast on both Apple and Spotify. So, and also on YouTube. So it's all over the place. So where it's at, and Facebook and Instagram as well, right? You can get the long version on Facebook. So if you think about it, though, we told our story. Now, what we need to do is we make sure that when we're telling that story, by telling that story, we're trying to show up a little bit more frequently, and we're going to try to be engaged and engaging. So, trying it out, right? Don't know if it's going to work or not. Sure, it may feel a little awkward, but we have the Virgo season to make sure that we're able to deliver on the promises that the origin story conveys. That's if you're starting a new one, right? Now, the moon in Sagittarius is pushing an envelope here. Really is. It's actually right with the great attractor. Now, the great attractor is a point in the universe where things tend to gravitate towards, right? It's not the galactic center because Black Moon Lilith is at the galactic center. That's another attraction point. So we have the moon and Black Moon Lilith in attraction points in Sagittarius. Well, and then we have Venus, an attractor, in a kite formation with the moon on one side at the great attractor and with Jupiter on the other side. Two benefics and an attractor with the moon crossing Saturn. Holy cow. Now, this sounds fantastic. And quite honestly, I think it could be. Now, if we think about it, though, innovation here, that's going to be your key, right? Look at and look, that kite that forms at Venus, it is with Venus at the head of it, indicates that 14 degrees of Libra opposing Saturn is where this final performance under the bright lights will begin to pay off. We're going to start paying off in Virgo, too, but we're seeing some of these things starting to pay off. And these points are indicating where we're going to be, seeing some light, seeing some things, feeling these things moving forward. Now, innovation is definitely your key, and so is a rather detached and aloof mindset, kind of Aquarian things, right? We're unique. We're doing something different here. This isn't your standard astrology where you're just, you're cool because you're here, okay? You don't have to look for validation of being cool from any of the astrology that we talk about here. This is basically just about the day and how the day goes and the course of the day and the flow of energy. And then ultimately it's about creative energy as well, so how we get into that creative flow and kind of just go along with everything. But now, what we need to do, though, is we're going to have to draw attention to ourselves, but we're going to have to do it. It's kind of reluctant to do it, but we're going to have to do it in order to present ourselves as part of a larger team, okay? In this vein, think about this. Now, I don't really talk about Sabian symbols much. I'm probably going to have to do a whole video on just what Sabian symbols are and what they do, but every once in a while, my intuition just goes, bing, what are we at here? What is this? What's going on? And all of a sudden, you look at it, and it's like 15 degrees of Libra. There's a symbol for every degree of the zodiac. 15 degrees of Libra is circular paths. And it's actually the end of a cycle. So it's kind of like there's cycles within the Sabian symbols, and it's at the end of a cycle. And the cycle is circular paths. Now, if you think about it, the image evokes repetition of cycles. So basically, it is a repetition, right? It's like the beginning and the end and the beginning, right? It could be very boring, or it could be very enlightening, because what happens is with that repetition, we attune ourselves to the universe, right? Now, it's that repetition of cycles. Venus is poised to go retrograde in Scorpio. Think about that. That's a very repetitive cycle that repeats itself all the time. The same place, right? Scorpio. Now, Venus is going to go there. This is a poignant reminder of the repeating patterns, the scale of which, okay, it does it every 8 years. Think about it. If you are 8 years old, that's a lifetime for somebody, right? If you're older, then that's not quite a lifetime, but it tells you what the grand scope of things are, like the cycles of the outer planets, the 84 years, all the crazy ones, right? The 12 years, 28 years, 84 years. That's right. So think about it. So now we have all those patterns out there, those repeating patterns, and the scale of which can confuse us as humans, right? Due to their time frame, because we don't really have a way to relate to it. And to the untrained mind, these paths can be very just, why are they there? You know, it doesn't look very good. It could be positive, it could be negative. It's like, well, but to us, the people who are listening, the people who are really, really tuning in, they're an exercise of attunement, right? Forget about daylight savings. We're now on cosmic time. And Mercury in Leo can have us overthinking. Yeah, it can. Now, are these thoughts and sentiments of great majesty? Perhaps. I would say that the over-the-top way in which we will be presenting ourselves today is necessary. Okay? So don't be afraid of it. Just go for it. Okay? Like this. Anyway, Jupiter is trine with the moon in Sagittarius. We can do better, right? That attractor. Yes. Bring it to me. Let it come. Let it come. Let's put ourselves in that mindset. Let's attune ourselves to that. Venus is sextile with Jupiter. We can do better. Right. That's what we're doing. Now, look, change it up. What we saw yesterday bring, what it brought us, what it delivered to us. Now we need to focus on harvesting the fruits that these labors in Virgo while planting our winter wheat. So, in 1560, the future Danish astronomer, 14-year-old Tycho Brahe, becomes interested in astronomy after observing a solar eclipse. How do you like that? And our birth is Count Basie. He's a musician, right? He's born in 1904, jazz pianist, organist, and band leader. Did the 1 o'clock jump, April in Paris. He's born in Red Bank, New Jersey. Now, just as a curious aside, he is the first African-American winner of a Grammy Award in 1958. And that is all I have for you. If you got any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'll do my best to try to respond to them. I always do. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Keep it going, right? Keep it flowing out there. Save it for later. Do the nice things, right? Send it to somebody you love. Send it to somebody that needs some help. Send it to somebody. Just, share it, pass it along. Every little bit of activity helps boost the algorithm of it, and it gets to more people. It doesn't necessarily have to get to your people. It just needs to get to more people, and the more people it gets to, the more people that listen. And there's more and more that are joining us every single day. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's recap, shall we? Our color is heather blue, and the key word is awkward. Like, this was awkwardly long. But putting it out there, right? Yep, that's right. Today's the 7. Happy astrocatting.